Today we're going to learn SolidWorks. This is going to be the first demonstration on how to use SolidWorks that most of you have probably seen. This little block that you see in front of you is what we're going to be creating. This is what I'm calling a demo block that you're going to be creating. This part is fairly simple, and you're going to need to take some notes as you're going through this so that you can remember dimensions and different things about what I'm doing. Okay, so to get started on SolidWorks, we'll come up here. As we open up SolidWorks, we'll go to New, and we're going to make a part. Our new part, anytime you draw in SolidWorks, SolidWorks is different than AutoCAD for the mere fact that when you're drawing in SolidWorks, you're drawing from plane to plane. In AutoCAD, you draw by line to line. And so then when we click on Sketch, because we start out with a sketch in SolidWorks, you can see the front plane, top plane, right plane all pop up. We want to draw from the front plane. With this instance, you will use different ones depending on what you're drawing. But then this little spot down here is also called the origin. That's an XY axis, and we want to start right at the 0 point when we start drawing. In AutoCAD, if I would have drawn that rectangle there, I would have drew it to an exact size as I was drawing it. In SolidWorks, we draw it, and then we come up to the Smart Dimension tab up here, and we click Smart Dimension, and then we size it. So you don't have to worry about drawing it to the exact size as you're drawing the shape. You draw it and then you size it. So we're going to make this 3" by 6" rectangle. Once you get that done, you'll come over here to the left hand side, you'll click that check mark, and then that will basically solidify this. And then we will go to the Features tab on the left hand side, upper left hand side, and we're going to give this thing some depth. And the way we give this thing some depth is we're going to do what's called extrude it. Excuse me. So we're going to extrude a boss or boss base here, and once we click on that, you can see the yellow on this appear, and we're going to extrude that back to a depth of 2 inches. And so you can see that's coming forward, but if I click on this button over here by the word blind, I can change that so it's going forward and backwards, and I want mine to go back. So I click the check mark, and that solidifies it. And now I've got this block here, and if you hold the scroll wheel down on your mouse, you can rotate this block around any way you want it. Hard to draw this way, so I'm actually going to, up here in this little pull down menu on this different views, I'm going to click on front view. If I want to go to the right side view, I can click there. If I want to go to the bottom view, I can go to there. But then you can draw from any one of those planes. But this is the front view, so this is where I'm going to draw. Now I've got this cube here, this rectangular cube, and I want to make it to where I have a hole going all the way through it. And that hole going all the way through is going to be 1 inch in diameter. And then I'm going to counterbore a hole that's a 2 inch diameter counterbore, and I'm only going to make it go a 1/2 inch back. And I'm going to do the 2 inch hole first, the counterbore first. So I'm going to go to Sketch, and I'm going to click on Circle. Over here it says Select a Plane. Well, the plane I want to draw is right here on this front plane. You can see it there when I turn it sideways. And if I click and drag, there's my circle. I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to go back to the front view. And you can see I've got this great big circle here. So I've got the circle drawn. I click the check mark to say, yeah, it's solidified. I want to smart dimension that, and I'm said that this dimension here on the diameter of this is going to be 2 inches. So I click 2 inches. There it is. Now I need to get this center point right here in the exact center of this object. So I'm going to say, all right, we're going to smart dimension, and I want to go from this line down. I don't know what happened there. Click smart dimension. And go from the edge of this circle to the line. Not working again. Let me try that one more time. I'm go from this line to this circle. I'm going to pull it out this way, and I want that to be 1.5, which is exactly half of the height here of 3 inches. Then I'm going to go from this side over, and I'm going to dimension that to 3. That was real close. Okay, so then I've got it centered. You can turn it to the side, and you can see this hole. I'm going to click OK on the dimension. I'm going to go to my Features tab, and then I'm going to click on the Extrude Cut. When you click on the Extrude Cut, you can see that it shows that circle is going all the way through, and you can take it back to whatever depth you want just by dragging on this. I like to type it in. That way I know it's precise. Over here along the left-hand side, you see that's highlighted, and I'm going to go back 0.5 for a depth. And I click OK. So now there's a hole cut back, 2 inch diameter at 0.5 depth. I'm going to go back to my front view here. That way I can draw back in this. Now I want to do another sketch for the hole going all the way through it, and I want it to be from this plane, which is different from this one because it's back a 1/2 inch. And so then I'm going to draw, and you can see I drew there, and you can see it's back on that counterbore plane. So I click OK, And now I'm going to make, I want these two circles to be concentric, which means have the same center point. So that one's highlighted. So I click on it. I hold the shift key down. Once again, you hold the shift key down, click on that circle, come over here to the left-hand side and put concentric. It moves it to this so that two circles have the same center point. I'm going to click OK. And now I'm going to smart dimension that. And I said that this hole was going to be 1 inch diameter. So it goes back to a 1 inch diameter. Now I'm going to extrude that cut from the features tab, go to extrude cut, and it's going to go back right here. I'm going to say go through all. That way, no matter if I change the depth of this, it will go all the way through it, no matter what the depth is. And then you can look through and you can see, oh, okay, I see what you're talking about. There, that hole's going all the way through. We got this counterbore here. I'm going to click on this and make it sit as an isometric view, like so. And I want to put a fillet on every edge that's connected with these holes. And this fillet is going to be down here to a radius of 0.125, which is 1/8 of an inch. So I type that in down here. I come up here to items to fillet. I click in that box, and I want to make sure my full preview is on and the tangent propagation's on. And I click there, there, and then I can click back on this hole, the circle that I can't even see, but it allows you to click on it. And if I say OK to the fillet, they are now all filleted on those edges. Pretty cool. So I'm going to go back, and on all these outside edges, I want a chamfer, and I want that chamfer. So I go up to the fillet tool. I go down on the pull down menu to chamfer. For the size of it, I want it to be 0.25, which is 1/4 of an inch. So I click on that, and then I'm going to click up here. Full previews on, tangent propagations on. So now I'm just going to start clicking on these lines, and you can see that it's giving you a preview of all of the fillets that it's given you, and it because the tangent propagations on it went anything that any line that was touching this one went to. So and then I'm going to come back down here. I'm going to click there, and this line that you can't see, you can click on it. I'm going to click there, that one, this one, and that one. Now they are all chamfered. And if you rotate this around, you can see that all, and that is basically done. The only thing I want to do now is I want to show you how to change the material. So I come over here, and material says not specified. I right-click on that. I say edit material, and a bunch of stuff pops up. I don't want it to be steel. I want this to be made out of wood. So I click on the wood, and let's make this maple. Since maple's a hardwood, I click apply, and then I can click close there, and now I have maple. So you go ahead and save this by clicking on the Save button, and we're going to call this Demo. Save it to the desktop. I'll click on Desktop over here, click Save. It already exists. I want to replace it because that was one I'd done before. You guys won't have that option, but now that is saved. So that's your first intro look at SolidWorks and how to use it.